But alas, here we are.
Hard Rock.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Hard Rock.
I gotta tell you, man, he looks fantastic.
Hard Rock.
You think in a big giant head like mine, there would be enough room for all the teeth I'm supposed to have and then some.
Hard Rock.
Ends up being a conversation I have to have every 4 to 6 months with my hygienist, but I feel like she loses the argument every single time at this point, so it's really on her.
Hard Rock.
So hopefully it'll pay for itself, otherwise I'm just pissing more money away.
Hard Rock.
And I'm not coming in on Saturday anyway, Gary, I don't care.
Hard Rock.
We had somebody that was uniquely unqualified to handle an emergency.
Hard Rock.
Whenever you see that there were no wars going on under Trump's presidency, all you really have to do is just, like, laugh at the person that posted it and be like, we were still in Afghanistan, and you're the dumbest I've ever seen on the internet.
Hard Rock.
Because there's always a dumber on the internet.
Hard Rock.
I did tell him that they ran out of Jameson, and I said that was a big no-no with my crowd.
Hard Rock.
You could argue I would have talked enough the moment I started talking.
Hard Rock.
Ha! See that? I made it all the way back around. All by myself. Look, Ma. No hands.
Hard Rock Lunchbox.
Greetings and salutations, members of the Hard Rock Lunchbox and, of course, the Top 20. How's everybody doing today? It is simply a beautiful December 14th, 2023 year of our Lord. Yeah, just keeps making me fun. Keeps making me laugh. It does not keep making me funny, I can assure you of that. I am wearing a new hat today. I know everybody cares. If it gets too warm, I'm going to pull it off halfway through. I like this hat. It's very comfortable, but it is incredibly warm. I wear this hat when I walk. I don't know why I thought it would be a good idea to wear now, but alas, here we are. Man, we are in the slide towards the end of the year. It is going fast in some ways and super slow in others. I'm just trying to keep up because I can't seem to. Yeah, man, just like, what's that movie? Like, and Everything, Everywhere, All at Once? That's literally my biopic right now. It's so horrible. Just trying to squeeze, like, everything out of the time that I have. And every time I, like, not that I caught up, but, like, every time I think that I, like, got to one of those places, like, literally something else has been coming in. It's actually been kind of funny. Like, it's just like, oh, man, like, and it's invariably stuff I've just forgotten. Like, and it's just like I'm trying to balance a lot up here, but I do a pretty good job of keeping stuff in my calendar. What I've realized lately is I've actually been too busy to check my calendar. Like, I've screwed up a couple things over the past couple weeks simply because I just didn't check my calendar, and my Outlook does some weird thing. I don't know who else, I don't know if we're all here for, like, office nonsense and tech problems, but, like, my Outlook does this weird thing every now and then where the reminders just don't work. They don't update. So I have to shut Outlook down, and I bring it back up, and all of a sudden, like, a whole bunch of things pop up, most of which have passed already, which is always fun. So, yeah, I'm playing a lot of catch-up. I'm actually at the point now where I'm using PTO days, personal time off days, to catch up on work, which is, like, bananas. And it's not like I'm doing the PTO, like, for the same company I work for, right? That'd be ridiculous. Why would I come in on my day off, right? This is not office space. And I'm not coming in on Saturday anyway, Gary. I don't care. But I do have side jobs, so I've been using my days off to do these side jobs because, first of all, the money would be helpful, but, like, I'm just really, really far behind in a few of them, and I just have to get them done because I said I would, and, there's other things to, get done, but it's been a week. Like, here's like a perfect example of something that just didn't need to happen. Like, for the past couple of years, the primary place I work for, where I have benefits for, they do their open enrollment in April. Their open enrollment, it's in March for health insurance. But it starts April 1st. For whatever reason, this year they're going calendar year, so it starts January 1st, which means open enrollment is, you guessed it, in December. And you got a 10-day window to basically figure out everything you're going to do next year. And as somebody that has kind of had a usage for health insurance over the past year, like it's kind of important. Like I actually have to look at it. For the first time ever, we are getting pet insurance. Yeah. Thank you. My beloved cat Momo, which if you ever want to see what Momo looks like, you can hashtag what's your Momo. I think it's what's your Momo. Yeah, it's what's your Momo. Check for that hashtag on Instagram, and you will see my ridiculous cat. He's adorable, and we love him. He's an amazing member of our family, but he's getting older now. I have no idea how old he is. I know that the first couple years for a cat, it's like 35 in human years. So I think he's older than I am. But I got to tell you, man, he looks fantastic. He's doing really much better than I am. But I know that every time you take a pet to a vet, it's like, $150, $200 if nothing's at all wrong with him. I mean, I know the last time we went to the vet with Momo, they wanted to pull his teeth, his back teeth, because he's like getting older, and they've got I want to say gingivitis, but I honestly don't remember what the term was. And we were like, he's literally eating all the time. He's not showing like he's in any pain. The moment he's in pain, we'll address it. But like, I don't see. Like, I'm not a big believer in pulling teeth anyway. Like, I know, like, kids, like, in the age of orthodontia, right, and over-orthodontia, like, where everybody has to have perfect teeth, which, by the way, is complete bullshit, by the way. Because, first of all, you don't have to have perfect teeth. That's just something that we're imposing on society. And, like, how dare us, like, shame people that get, like, breast augmentation or Botox, and, we don't say anything about, teeth straightening, like, that just doesn't need to be done. Like, obviously, if there's a problem and you need to fix some stuff because of crowding, like, do that. But, like, I remember with Charlotte when she had braces. Yeah, I forget. She had basically what were pre-braces because the orthodontist effectively just lied to us because she was young enough, and he was like, why don't we just correct this thing? And she had a palate expander, which I don't want to go into, by the way, because it is one of the most horrific things I've ever gone through as a parent. Like, completely. So I don't really want to do that. But like, she had one of those, but she also had, while we were doing that, she had like some pre-orthodontia, which was basically just to maintain the spacing in her teeth so that there would be room to grow in. Because what happens, obviously, is like if your teeth are kind of like messed up as other teeth, your adult teeth grow in, they'll like start pushing stuff. And since everything doesn't come in at the exact same time, some things lean that way and all that other stuff. Like my top teeth, like, I don't know if you can see that. This has got to be really great for radio. My top teeth right here, they're pretty straight, and there's really not much wrong with them, and that's all natural. I never had braces. I have a chip in my tooth that I got in second grade, falling off the uneven bars. That was fun. It's also the very first time I got the wind knocked out of me, and I have to tell you, man, that's a good one. I've seen it happen to my soccer players when they get the wind knocked out of them, and the very first thing I tell them is like, you're going to be okay. You just have to wait for your diaphragm to reset, and you'll be able to breathe again. I promise. So, like, just a very scary thing all around. So I have that, but my bottom teeth are all kind of messed up. There's not enough room. You think in a big giant head like mine, there would be enough room for all the teeth I'm supposed to have and then some, but nope. This gets all bunched up here, which makes it incredibly difficult to floss. So I don't as much as I ought to, and, that's too bad. And that just ends up being a conversation I have to have every 4 to 6 months with my hygienist, but I feel like she loses the argument every single time at this point, so it's really on her if she wants to bring it up. What was I saying about this? Something. But anyway, so orthodontia, braces, Momo, yes. Ha! See that? I made it all the way back around. All by myself. Look, Ma, no hands. So they wanted to like pull his teeth because like there was some stuff, and I'm like, dude, like, we'll pull his teeth when we need to. Like, I've seen, that's what I was saying about kids like that get their teeth pulled because their mouths are too small. It's like, first of all, they're children. Like, give them a break. Like, let it happen. Like, maybe the teeth is what helps expand things. And they're just like, nope, I need a new boat, so I gotta let's pull those teeth. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. But anyway, so we got pet insurance. It actually seems like less pet insurance and more like pet discount. Like, I don't know when that happened. I haven't been in the insurance sector in a very long time because I was self-employed. Like, I'm still self-employed for a lot of what I do, but I do have a qualifying contract now with a with a customer that I signed up for a couple of years ago at this point. So it gives me benefits because I was kind of worried about the state of benefits. And I realize now that the New York benefits are way better. And I should have just stuck with them because they're way better, way cheaper. And that was unfortunate. That was a bad call on my part. So sorry about that. But something, so anyway, so open enrollment. We have pet insurance now. It's like just under $3 a week. And it basically is going to cut down the cost of stuff. It's like 40% off whatever the things are. So hopefully it'll pay for itself. Otherwise, I'm just pissing more money away. But tomato. I keep getting texts from my pharmacy. Sorry, I don't mean to be distracting. I certainly don't mean to be on my phone. During the show, I keep getting texts from my pharmacy because I asked them, I sent them a message because I needed a refill on something, and it says, like, right on the thing that I'm going to be out of this stuff on the 18th, right? Which is, I always build in, like, a couple of days anyway, so, like, that's not entirely true. So, pharmacy, if you're listening, just disregard that. But, like, I always build in a little bit of time, but it says it's too soon to refill it, but I'm going to be out on the 18th, and it's the 14th, bruh. Like, and there's a weekend in there, and it comes from Indiana. So it's a compounding pharmacy in Indiana. So that's where I get it from. And so I just sent them a message, and I was like, "Hey, man, like, why can't I refill this? Like, are you gonna just evaporate it or apparate it here? Like, or is Harry Potter gonna send it through the Flu Network? Like, I don't know what's gonna happen because honestly, that'd be very cool. I don't have a fireplace though. I don't know what happened. Oh God, I would love to have a fireplace. I grew up with a fireplace. I really do miss it sometimes. But so they keep texting me, telling me like, yeah, one or more of your prescriptions are on their way, and I'm like, I didn't authorize anything, bro. Like, I just want to know why I couldn't do it, and maybe they were like, oh, let's just send this, but I didn't do it because I have a couple of prescriptions and I want to send it at the same time, and they tend to charge me for shipping, and it's like, what are you doing, guys? Like, what are we doing here? And anyway, so I'll figure all that out, but my phone does keep beeping, and it's my pharmacist, so I'll deal with that during the musical interludes that are coming up soon. I want to talk about a couple things, including the show this past Friday night. Thank you all that were in attendance. I do have some comments, unsurprisingly, I'm sure, about some of the stuff that I think went down during the show, but I want to just talk about real quick my incredible urge to go on Facebook and call people out for being completely stupid. And I would also like to pat myself on the back right there for not doing so, because I really do feel like it's kind of pointless, and there's really just no talking to the people that I'm trying to talk to. But my biggest concern has always been the people that are reading these dumb things and thinking they're true, because that has been the epidemic that has really gone awry here, because that's like the misinformation is what these people are bothering to post. And it's so funny to me, because you can argue and disagree about things like ideologically. Like, I've been watching a couple of things with Liz Cheney lately, who I just don't agree with, and even Nikki Haley, who I do not agree with on most things either. But there's a difference of ideology, and you can allow for people to have differences of opinion, right? It's like religion. Like, okay, you believe that God is the one true God, and the Jews don't so much, or whatever it is that they do, and the Muslims are really anti-Jesus and stuff so you can have different conversations about ideology, but it's better to kind of see what you kind of agree on. Like, Liz Cheney was basically most of the people in Congress right now, a lot of the Trump supporters and election deniers, are basically violating the Constitution. They're trying to invalidate the free and fair elections of the United States of America, which is tantamount to treason. But I disagree with her on most other things, but she's really, making some excellent points, and nobody's really listening. But what I wanted to say specifically was, I keep seeing, and I'm literally just not on all that much. I was on more because I had the show on Friday, so I was at least trying to promote. So I feel bad. I don't want to get on Facebook at all, but I also do need to promote, because I'm putting on a show and people need to know about that, because it's very hard for me to communicate with people. I will not text people directly and be like, I'm coming to a show, because I feel like that's way too guilty, or I'm having a show and stuff like that, so I don't do that either. So it's really my only choice. Instagram, Facebook. I already don't TikTok. I barely tweet. So it's kind of like what I've got to do. If you don't listen to the show, you don't know much about like what Revel 9 is up to, and that's fine. That's on me. So I felt compelled to do it, but I kept going on to like do those things, and I would just see stuff like at the top of my feed that was just so ridiculous. Like I'm seeing a lot of stuff now, like how like I am really kind of I don't understand what's going on at the border right now, and I don't understand why the Democrats aren't addressing it, even just giving a reason for why they aren't securing the border more. Like I've been pretty clear about how I feel about asylum versus migrants, and how people like there needs to be a system. I realize it's a big operation, but like we're a big country. I feel like we can take on a big operation. But the fact that the Democrats aren't even speaking on this is just flipping me out, because it's just allowing the Republicans to say whatever they want, and they're basically only just saying that the border needs to be secured and it's being overrun. And I don't see that as not being true. And I don't mind agreeing with Republicans when they're correct, and I think they're totally correct on this. And a lot of stuff that's going on with like the Ukraine funding, like they're trying to tie border security to the Ukraine funding, which I am always just against. Clean bills, just do clean bills. But it's a good argument. If that's the only way Congress can get something that they really want out of this, then I guess they're going to have to do that. Biden really wants to support Ukraine. The Republicans in Congress really want border security. I think that's a fair discussion to have. So it's fine. But a lot of the posts I'm seeing right now are about Democrats are just letting illegals in so they can vote, so they can win elections. And it's just like, first of all, that's demonstrably false, right? It's not how it works. Illegals cannot vote. You do actually need ID in most states. And you do need to be on voter registration rolls and all the others. Like even in New York, where you don't actually need ID, you go in, you say where you are, your signature has to match, you have to get your address right. For Christ's sake, every time I go to vote, I know the guy sitting there. Like he knows me. I coached his daughter in soccer a million years ago. Like the guy that is actually taking my signature knows me personally, and that's why they have those election workers, because they do tend to know the people in the neighborhood. And they, again, you have to have your address, and as long as you're registered to vote, you just keep showing up every year, same signature. If your signature doesn't match, they can call it into contest, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, it's not like illegals are just coming here and voting for Biden. And first of all, most Latin Americans tend to be voting more Republican lately because they're just not paying attention, and because they're as people do better economically, they tend to lean more fiscally conservative, right? As soon as people start making money, the very first thing they want to do is stop giving money to poor people. It's just the way capitalism works, and it's just the way economics really is. And there's a lot of reasons for it. But my personal favorite is the the other one is like I love about the economy, and people just talk about how great the economy was when Trump was president. The economy was great the first 2 years because Obama handed Trump probably the best economy this country has seen ever, possibly, but at least since Bill Clinton. But the simple fact of the matter is that we were in basically a recession because COVID shut the economy down, because former President Trump could not handle such an emergency, and he didn't care enough to bother. Honestly, Cassidy Hutchinson said one of the greatest things I've ever heard said about Trump, in that we had somebody that was uniquely unqualified to handle an emergency of that stature, and that's exactly what it was. Trump couldn't handle this big problem, and he destroyed the economy. So people are always talking about how good the economy was under Trump. They're full of shit. So don't believe a single word that they say. Like, it was good for like the first year, thank you Obama, and then he murdered it. He absolutely destroyed. $9 trillion in debt was added during his presidency. But my absolute all-time favorite that keeps showing up is they talk about how great things were during Trump, and they say that there were no wars during that time, because there's two wars going on right now, right? There's the Russia is invaded Ukraine illegally, and Israel is now at war with Hamas in Gaza. And you can argue the merits of that particular war. We can discuss that if you want, because I actually have some mixed feelings on that. I am not pro-Hamas in any capacity, so let's just nip that in the bud right now. But there's two wars going on right now. But what people, and mostly Republicans, and by Republicans I mean stupid Republicans that are posting on Facebook, seem to forget is that we as a country were still at war in Afghanistan during the Trump presidency. It was President Biden that got us out and finally ended the war in Afghanistan. And those very same Republicans were the same shitheads that kept posting about how badly he did it. So you would think they would at least remember that we were indeed still at war. Us as a country were at war. We were at war under the entire time of Trump's presidency. So whenever you see that there were no wars going on under Trump's presidency, all you really have to do is just like laugh at the person that posted it and be like, we were still in Afghanistan and you're the dumbest fuck I've ever seen on the internet. And obviously that's not true, because there's always a dumber fuck on the internet. So just keep that in mind. I didn't come here to talk about any of that. I did actually, I wanted to say a few things about the show on Friday night. I did not want it to be part of the top 20 with the crux of what I'm going to say, because a lot of it actually is negative. So I kind of want to save that for my listening audience, and then we can just talk about it in the chat here, 99 WNRR, if you're interested. Because I had some really interesting stuff go down. Like, I thought overall it was a great night. It was much better than I actually expected. There were a couple of hiccups along the way, some of which were expected, some of which were not, but I think I was very pleasantly surprised by how well the venue handled everything. They had, in my opinion, some top-notch staff. They had two Seans behind the bar, and as far as I can tell, like, nobody waited at all, like, for drinks and stuff like that. And we ended up with Michael Scarabino from Quiet, the band Quiet, doing sound and at the door. And, like, there's something about having an actual musician sitting at the door working your sound. I mean, was the sound 100% perfect? I don't know. It seemed pretty good to me, but at least he was there listening, and he would make adjustments as he would go. Like, that's a great thing, considering most sound guys leave the board and, like, head out to smoke or whatever, but Scarabino did an A-plus job, so I think the sound was absolutely on point. And like I said, like, the venue was clean. Both bathrooms were working. Like, the lights were on. I mean, the parking there is, like I said, like, there were some hiccups that we knew. We knew the parking was going to be horrible. I ended up parking across the street in some court, and it seems like that's where most other people park. And as I was thinking about how bad it is, the reality is that place only holds 50 people. So how many cars are there actually going to be spread throughout the neighborhood? Probably not many. I mean, at most 50, right? But, like, probably closer to, like, 25. Like, that's not so bad considering how many neighborhood parking spots there probably are. I mean, I feel bad for the people that live there, but, like, we're not there all that often. So I think it was a super positive experience, and I'm actually looking to put more together at Nostalgia, because, you know, I talked to Thomas. He's like, everybody said it was great. I did tell him that they ran out of Jameson, and I said that was a big no-no with my crowd. And he laughed, and I was like, okay, but I'm going to remind you next time to pick up an extra bottle, because if you don't, I will, and I'll make $175 off a liter of Jameson. We could do it that way. But I think everybody I spoke to enjoyed the show. Everybody I spoke to had a good time, and more importantly, every single person that I spoke to would definitely do it again, which was really what I was not expecting. I really expected there to be, because I've heard some horror stories already about that place, but it usually tends to be based on the service, and maybe it just wasn't Friday nights, because Thomas did tell me that the two Seans behind the bar is kind of a staple on Friday nights. So if I'm going to continue to do this, that's where I'm going to aim for. So I'm pretty psyched for maybe some more of them, but like I said, like, I want to address it a little bit more later, and then we'll talk in the chat, because I definitely want some feedback on this. And if you're listening after the fact and you want to do your feedback, absolutely go ahead and message me. You can message me on Facebook, or if you have my direct contact information, you can do that. Or you can always message me at hardrocklunchbox@gmail.com. Like I said, this is important to me. I really do want some feedback and some ideas and some opinions, because I am considering doing 3 or 4 more of these in 2024. Leaning towards 3, but again, that'll be up for discussion, and we'll get to that a little bit later in the show, because it's definitely time to end the top 20 now. I feel like I've talked enough, but I feel like you could argue I would have talked enough the moment I started talking, and that's pretty par for the course. So let's get some music going, and then we'll take it as it comes, so they say, and yada yada yada, and blah 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 blah.